Dr. Michael?
I'll make a few comments about the levee integrity. I've certainly looked at those issues. And the first thing I will say is that the levees are getting better, and I give a lot of credit to the Department of Water Resources and the efforts that have been made over a number of decades to improve the condition of the levees. The technology here, I mean, we know how to bolster levees. We know what they cost. We know that when we invest in levees that we get immediate benefits from, we don't have to wait 15 years to start receiving those flood control benefits. Every section, every breach that we strengthen yields immediate benefits to everybody that's dependent upon this system. And certainly when it comes, it's been over a decade now since there was a serious levee breach in the Delta. There's been a dramatic reduction, and it's a direct result of the investment that's been made. So I think that can be pointed to as an effective use of an effective partnership between the state and local agencies to improve them. Having said that, there's a long way to go in order to achieve this sort of a seismic resilient system. I will point out that the scenarios that do impact water exports are scenarios that cause 20 or 30 islands to simultaneously flood. There's a lot of, the probability of that happening is relatively low. The impacts of an event like that are pretty hard to fathom. Hundreds of thousands of acres being inundated by deep water. These aren't cities, but people live there, people work there. There'd be a lot of death and destruction that would result from that. And the analysis the state has done has shown, modeling that scenario has shown that the majority of the economic impacts accrue to the infrastructure and the people and the property within the Delta itself. So there's a lot of people that, in the state that have an interest in the integrity of the system, and not just the water exporters. And if that's the primary value that the water export community sees the tunnels, then it is definitely time for the state to take a look at different alternatives, because the impacts of that scenario are really huge, and they go beyond water exporters. And we should be looking at solutions that help everyone, because I think there are solutions. We know that we can bolster that levee system for a lot less than $15 billion to be, I wouldn't say earthquake-proof, but certainly resilient to be protective of all these interests. And we should look at those alternatives very closely as we go forward.
Okay, and